Guys, you're about to get the tour of the game room. Now keep in mind, this room's only 11 by 10. We live in a one-bedroom apartment with a den, and this is considered the den, quote-unquote. So, everything in here I got from the thrift store or let go or something like that. I didn't pay full price for anything, hardly. That's why my collection is kind of random, because it's like whatever I can find builds my collection. Like the shelf, for example, this long wooden one came from Goodwill, $7.99. I'm looking for shelves now that, you know, are space saving, don't take up any space hardly at all. And like this is an example of one. So I moved my Wii games over here. As you can see, Wii's fun to collect for. I think I have everything I probably want on Wii. I'm starting to be more selective with what I pick up, but and you'll see some horror related items every now and then because I like that type of stuff. There's a little Wii Activision gun back there. Here's a Wii stand, and I keep my Wii U games on it. I don't have very many, but I do like the Wii U a lot. I think it's a very underrated system. And I think people need to show it more love. But here's Kylo Ren. He was $5 too, or $5 at a thrift store. This is for extra lighting. That's Cartman. Here's a shelf with Freddy and some Game Boy cases I got from Goodwill. One of them was full of manuals, which was kind of cool. It's my PSP collection. I still don't know how I feel about the PSP. It always seems to give me trouble. I have a couple of them, and I don't know. It's just like some discs read, some don't. I have one amiibo that came with the Twilight Princess. Here's very modest Game Boy collection. A couple original Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. My Super Famicom collection. I try to play some, but I don't understand them because they're in Japanese. But here's my original NES collection. Now I found this rack that they're in at the thrift store. I stained it. It was from a winery. It's marked on one side of it. I don't know what it was used for, but it holds NES games perfect. Over here we have my boxed NES games and a bunch of manuals that I've picked up that I'm just waiting for games to match them with. Like some highlights are Mega Man 2. I don't have those games, so I'm waiting for them. PS1 collection. These are fun to collect because they're usually hidden in with CDs, and even if a thrift store divides games from CDs because they know people want games, these are hidden in the CDs and they're usually like 25 or 50 cents. Here's my Super Nintendo collection. Here's my boxed Super Nintendo collection. Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 here I found at Goodwill. I was very excited about because they were $4.99 a piece. Very excited about that. Here's my loose 64 collection in a couple boxes. Here's my GameCube collection. I don't know about the rest of you, but it's hard to find GameCube games in the wild around here. Very modest DS and 3DS collection. I don't have a 3DS, and I've sold off most of the games I had. That's what I have left. I do try to play DS when I'm out of town and stuff at the hotel. It's pretty fun. Some boxed Wii steering wheels and a little Mario. Here's my PlayStation 2 collection. For those who collect from games from thrift stores, you probably know PlayStation 2 is the most common. At least for me anyway. So it's fun to collect for. Okay, so moving on. Some shelves up here with some things on it. Little Mario. There's a N64 era joystick that I've never seen before, so I picked that up at a thrift store. Picked up Skylanders. I don't know anything about it, but it was all complete. The Intellivision flashback. It's actually in there. And those are just boxes over here. So to continue on with my I'll give you a shot of my... Got this entertainment system from my parents. It was their old one. They had it for years, and I moved it over here. So Genesis is Sega's at top, and Nintendo's at the bottom. Over here we have the Game Gear, and we got the Sega Master System. Down here we got the Jungle Green 64, Pokemon Snap in it, also a very good game. The original Wii. Over here we have the Sega Saturn. We have the Genesis Model 1, the Dreamcast, and the Model 2. Down here we have the Super Nintendo, the Wii U's back there, regular Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, a couple of DS's, original NES, the charcoal black 64, some Game Boy SPs, and some Game Boy Colors. And moving on over here, we have the Sega CD, which I had to do some work on when I got it. It didn't want to... It turned on at first, but then it turned off, and apparently there's a fuse in there or something that goes bad. It's pretty common, so you have to... So I had to solder it back in there, and I learned something from that experience, but it works fine now. Here's my Virtual Boy with Mario Tennis. It does not have the stand, but I got a real good price on it, and it works fine. There's my GameCube. There's my Famicom. And my Super Famicom. Down here, we have the Panasonic 3DO, the Xbox 360, and the original Beast Xbox. Have the 2600 Atari, which not a big Atari fan. I just feel like you have to have it, I guess, if it'll focus. And I got the infamous E.T. game in there. Is the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 1 Mini. I love the PlayStation 1 Mini. If I don't feel like playing handhelds, I'll actually take this on the road with me because it's just so small and easy to carry around. Here's Frankie again. Down here we have a PSP and a PS2. I know it. And Frankie likes those. I know it's not a old school TV, but it's fine for now. Up here we have the original Xbox collection. I have to point out Cell Damage right here is one of my favorite games of all time. Very underrated. It's like a Twisted Metal, but it's a million times more fun once you learn how to play it. There's the rest of my original Xbox. Here's my original G.I. Joes from way back. Love these guys. Big Frankenstein fan. Universal Monsters, especially Frankenstein. Here's my 360 collection. I like to point out I'm playing this some now. Alice Madness Returns. I didn't play the first one, but this one is very cool, so I'm assuming the first one is. Yeah, it goes all the way down there. Here's my Universal Monster stuffed animals. Brittany won me this Frankenstein out of a claw machine, and Brittany's mom picked me up the rest off eBay. It's very nice of her. We got, starting down here, we got a couple box 3DO games, and the rest of the 3DO games are in here. 32X games. I don't have a 32X. I just found them at a flea market for really cheap. Sega Saturn, Sega CD. There's some Game Gear games. My Dreamcast games. Master System games, which were 99 cents at Goodwill. Some Genesis box games up here. Well, going up. And moving back, we have Freddy vs. Jason up there. I thought that was pretty cool artwork. Some loose Genesis games. Some action figures and stuff up there. This little cubby is like a medical, some kind of medical thing. And It's perfect for keeping memory cards in and Atari games and I don't know, all kinds of random stuff. Here's my vinyl collection. I stopped collecting vinyl because it's just too heavy to move, and I don't know, it's just a pain sometimes. And as you can see, the weight of it is completely bending the shelf, and it's falling apart. Yeah, and just moving enough times, you just realize that these things are so heavy. My turntables, they're Gemini, not anything special at all, but they're fun for me. My sister got me these years and years and years ago. This lamp here I got from Let Go. Thought it was good storage and lighting because I need lighting in here. My 45's at the bottom down there. We got a painting of me my aunt did. I used to keep my PC games up here, but I got rid of them because I don't play PC games. And these shelves you keep seeing everywhere, my original Xbox was on them too. They're IKEA shelves, and I keep finding them on like Let Go and at thrift stores for cheap. They're solid metal. They're pretty cool. I got this rack at a store that sells like store furnishing stuff, like displays and all kinds of things. So I got it for my controllers to give it the video game store look. Kinda. I thought it was pretty cool, hanging from these little hooks. I see Gullin back there. Coming back, we got some shelves up there. It's got my original Goosebumps. Well, I try to keep them original. Some new ones snuck in there. I pick them up whenever I see them at the thrift store. Some other random stuff I've had for a long time. Like homies and trolls, and there's a Jesus over here. We got Frankenstein, of course, on the back of the door. Love that guy. Here's my PlayStation 3 collection. I don't even have a PlayStation 3, but I'm going to get one. Brittany got me the Stick of Truth here for Christmas. I mean, she knows I don't have a PS3, but she knows I want to get one. She did give me a PS4 in these games, which is a surprise. So I love the PS4. It's pretty cool. These are just extra games. And Frankie was sticking her paws at the door. In the storage closet, we got all the storage I can make. You know, anything helps. So it's just a small room. Some creepy crawlers and stuff. I don't know if you guys remember creepy crawlers. Poster, got Michael Jackson in here from the day he died. I was heartbroken. Microphone stand, guitar, some extra consoles and vintage Legos. And these things in it have like extra. Like, I try to keep 2 of any old consoles so I can have spare parts or something, because it's going to get harder and harder to find. We got a PS2 Slim in here. I don't know why that's not out, but we got an extra Saturn. Yeah, so then if we look over here, I got this little couch off, I think it was Overstock maybe, but it's perfect for the size of this room. It gives me extra storage inside of it for any kind of wires or whatever you need. I made this little table. It's just a piece of wood on an old crate to keep my strategy guides in and magazines. My laptop, and this is a microphone I use to record YouTube videos, and the game captures back there blinking. This is a playthrough I'm doing right now, Disney's Dinosaur. So look for that on my channel. And yeah, guys, so that's pretty much it for the game room. I know it's not much, but it's all I'm working with right now. So make sure you like and subscribe and keep checking back, because you never know what I'm going to add. I do pick up videos all the time. So until next time, bye guys. Into the living room, and here I have PS4 Brittany got me, PS4 Pro, which I love. Then my extra PS1, big Xbox, and PS2. Brittany's favorite system is the PS2, so we have it out here so we can play it all the time. And Frankie again. Alright.